I do have that first one in. Where is my feeler gauge? Start with 15. That one falls right in. Go right to 18. There's a little more than 18 there. Nineteen falls right in. 20 is pretty good. Let's go to 21. Might be more than 21. Okay, so 22 does not fit, so that's going to be 21. That is the top ring. 21. Okay. Get this top ring back out gently. Set them over there. Yep, that's going to be the second ring. All right, that one set in. Oh, we got 3 of you here so far. How y'all doing? So we're here, engine that you guys know nothing about up to this point. We've just been that busy running around doing stuff, but we got this engine out of a car that we bought, and what was supposed to be a quick little down and dirty refresh turned into borderline almost full-blown build, which is the way it goes. So today I'm down in the shop. Obviously we're checking our piston ring gaps just to see where we're at, make sure that ready to go for that. So that's 20,000. So that one does not want to go, so that one's going to be a little tighter than that. So yeah, we're checking our piston ring gaps here, dedicating which piston rings are going to go to what cylinder, and then that way I still got to finish cleaning up all the pistons yet so that they are fully ready to put the new rings on. But probably about halfway through this build, we just got the crank back in with new bearings. Pretty much got a total refresh. We dingle ball honed it and all that good stuff, so this thing should be pretty good. The new cam is in it. The cam selection is pretty radical for what this 305 is. So like I said, we're just working on the piston ring gap today. I have some time, so I'll try to sit there and bang these out. So that is 18,000. Sorry, second one 0.018. So basically what I'm doing here is, with the new ring packs, you have what would be your top ring, your second ring, and then these 3 rings consist of your oil ring. And basically I'm just putting them into cylinders in which I'm going to dedicate them to, taking the feeler gauge and seeing what our end gap clearance is going to be. That way we know, hey, if they're too tight, well, we got problems, and if they're not, well, then we should be good and ready to go. So I just finished up the top ones, and I'm just going to check one of these oil rings in here. These kind of just float in here, so we don't have to get too crazy with that. And as long as there's a certain amount of play, I think it's like 15 thousandths to like 60 or something like that they have to be. So as long as the 15 slides in and it's not any tighter than that, we're okay. Which, yeah, that one falls right in. So just for pooch and giggles, we'll see if we have like 20. See if we have 20 in her. Okay, so it's a little less than 20, but that will be fine. So these will be the rings for cylinder 3 here. And then I have one of the old pistons here with one of the rings fit on it. And basically what that's allowing me to do is when I set the ring in, you want to make sure it's square in the bore. Basically taking a piston with a piston ring already in it, and you just set it in. It's going to keep that level and make sure that that ring's in there square, so that when you actually put the feeler gauge in it, you know, the ring's not cockeyed in the bore. And just making sure that we are where we got to be. So, see, we'll throw the 18 in there. The 18 clears, we're good. Yep, okay. Cool beans, because these just need to be 15 or more. So, I'll go ahead and throw some tape around these and label them which ones they are. Now for these, the top rings and what would be your top ring and then your second ring, you do need to pay attention to which ones are which. This would be your second ring. It has a little bevel. If the camera can focus up here for me. There's a little bevel on that. That indicates that it's a second ring, as this top one here does not have that. And then it's also important too that when these go on the piston, and just checking them here, I don't know if you can quite see it or not, but they actually say top on them, just so you know what orientation they have to go in. So that's the top one, that's the second one. We'll get tape around them, label them up. And cylinder number 3 is done. And like I said, I'm just taking some tape here and wrapping it around the rings here, and then I'll label what cylinder they go to. That way later when we're cleaning up the pistons and we're ready to put, you know, piston rings on the pistons, they're already pre-labeled for us, so we already know what we got going on. So that will be number 3. Set them over there. Grab another set. Move back to the next cylinder here. Start with our top ring, once again indicating it. So it says top on this side, so we'll do top on that. Get her gently rolled in here. And send it down a little bit. And then once again, just take the piston with the ring already in it and just send it in until the ring sits on top of the deck. And bam, that one's in. We'll get the feeler gauge in. And as long as we got 15, we should be okay. Would like to see a little more if we got any more. All right, so 15 fits, but it's a little tight. We'll try to go for the 16. Okay, so that one's probably 16 then. We'll go, wasn't there a 20 in here? 21, 20, 19, we'll go for the 19, why not? We'll have 19 and 18 out. Okay, so the 19 does not want to fit. And 18 just does, so we'll call that one 18. Slip this guy out. Set him over here. That should be our second one. Yep, with the indent. And that is the top. to be greedy and go for the 18 again? Nope, 18's too tight. Go back to 15. 15 fits. Okay. Bounce around to 16. 16 fits. Cool. So definitely enough bunch of clearance there. Can we squeeze the old 17? Okay. We'll call that 17 then. That's been the tightest one. Yeah, that's the worst part is this thing didn't get, you know, just got a dingle ball hone, so it's not like it's going to be perfect as if it went to the machine shop and, you know, got the whole 9 done to her, but just a quick down and dirty dingle ball hone. So far, everything looks like it's going to be happy. Checking these oil ones now. Okay. What do we got on here? And these ones, once again, for the oil ring ones, they just at least need to be 15 or more. Yeah, 15 all day. A bit greedy and go for 20. Twenty's good. Okay. Content with that. Check this other one here. That one sets. And we'll go greedy right off the bat. I'm just gonna go for 20. See if it can clears 20. Yes. Okay. Cool. So there's another set down. And I will reorganize these. This is the second one. Those are the tops. Okay. So we'll be looking at something like that. All right, get these taped up. Get them labeled. And on to number 7. Pull the chat up here so I can actually... This is what happens when I don't live stream enough. I don't even know how to pull up the chat. Is that it? No. No. Don't know what button it is. Good Lord, help us all. Oh. Why does painter's tape always do that? I hate when painter's tape rips right down the center like that. Like, really? Then you have to pull it enough until it comes complete again, and then it's just kind of all over the place and messy. That's my favorite. Okay, so those were for cylinder number 5. Yes. Now to number 7. Where did I put the cap? Oh, there it is. Okay. What was that one? That one was like 20. And then that one was also number 7. New set of rings. So this should be our top one. Yep. Okay. So this is one of those things where, like, after 5 minutes it does get a little boring, but it's one of those things that you just kind of have to check it. And I figured, you know what, I'm here in the shop. So I might as well turn the camera on for you, whilst also trying to record everything for the upcoming video on this, which that's going to be quite the long one. So I guess if you're all here, I will ask, looking at kind of how long this engine build video will be, do you guys want to see it in one whole shot? So like an hour long, full blown beginning to end build, or would you rather see it in parts? That'll be something that you guys will have to let me know, just because it's one of those things too, like something that no one really discuss, or I feel like not a lot of guys discuss on YouTube, is how long to make videos. You know, some guys will do 10-minute videos, and you know, their audience seems to like that. We've been playing with a little bit of both, trying to figure out, you know, how long to make videos for you guys, just so, you know, I don't want to give you an hour or 2 hour video, and if you guys are bored to death, you don't want to watch it, well then, you know, kind of defeats the purpose. So you guys let me know what you're thinking there, if you'd rather see it in one whole shot, and or if you'd like to see it split up in parts, like we could split it up so, like, you know, the bottom end's one video and then, you know, top end's one video or whatever else. So that one's going to be 20 as well. Okay. Window 20. But one thing I will say is that we've been busting hump over here trying to get a lot of good, you know, cool content to bang out for you guys. I think as of this morning when I checked the schedule, I think we're booked all the way out till June or July on weekly uploads. So that's something that we really have struggled to do in the past, just because trying to keep up with a content schedule like that, to have everything, you know, edited and loaded, uploaded, and everything else, it just kind of becomes very interesting trying to keep up with a schedule like that. But so far so good, and that's why I'm just trying to stay ahead of the curve here, and just keep banging stuff out. We have so many projects. It just seems like every week I turn around and, you know, I find another vehicle that I just don't need to buy, but buy it anyway. And, you know, a few weeks ago, if you haven't been following us on any of our socials and stuff, we just drug home another, well, not another, another 4 vehicles. So definitely plenty of content to go around. Let's see, the 18 does not want to fit in there, so we'll bounce back down to the 17. Yeah, 17. We'll call that one 17. Gentle. And as long as this one has 15, we're golden. Yep, okie dokie. Good enough for me. This next one in. Pull the 15 out again. Yep, all right, beautiful. So these ones are ready to roll. Let me get them organized. That was our second one, yep, and that was the top. All right, so the odd bank is now done. It's crazy that I can't pull up the comment section. I can probably pull it up on the other phone though. Of course it has to. They both have to download. Got 5 in here now. How about that? welcome aboard. Welcome aboard. Nothing fun and crazy today, just, trivial stuff, but like I said, something wanted to try to play with going live and stuff because I just feel like it's potentially more fun for you guys. It's like an actual interaction, and it's like, hey, I'm actually a real person. I'm not just just videos and stuff. You actually get to interact with me live in the flesh. And then also you get to see, oh, is he that dumb in person as he is in the videos? Absolutely. Rotate our block here. Get the even bank up. Oh, come on, Betsy. There you go, sweetheart. Atta girl. Atta girl. And of course, I'm going to have to move you guys. You guys okay there? You good there? Yeah? Good? Okay. That finished? No, it's still up. Seriously. Oh. Have two of them? Yes. All right. On to the even bank, starting up here on number 2. We got our rings. This should be the second one. Yep, that one's the beveled one. Yes. That is our top. Go ahead and roll this one in. Oh yeah. Where to put the feeler gauge? In the back pocket. You ever have those moments where you have a certain tool or something in your hand, you set it down, you walk away, and then you kind of forget where you put it, and then you spend 3 hours looking for it, and it turns out that it was in your pocket the whole time. I've done that more times than I would like to count. It's just the way it goes. Running around scatterbrained all the time, just trying to keep up. 15 fits right in there. $16? Oh, yeah. Plenty. For the top and the second ring, I do like to get an actual feel for how much clearance there is. For the oil rings, like I said, as long as they're, within spec, we'll let that ride. I'm not too scared about the oil rings, but the top 2 rings, I would like to take a little bit more time and get them adequately in there. Let's see, so that's a 19, so it's an 18. So that one, no, okay, cylinder 5 was the same way. So, like I said, as long as they're within at least, I want to say for the top 2 rings, they probably want to be somewhere between 14 to 15 thousandths. As long as they're within that specification, they're good to go. So, let's see, this is second ring, that is the top. Once again, for any of you that just tuned in, these are all, what are these, Hastings? Yeah, Hastings rings. So there is a certain orientation for these. And basically the top one does not have the bevel in it. The second ring does. And then they're also marked on the one side, whether it's the top or not. So when you're putting them on the piston, and honestly just even checking them here, it's a good idea to have them in the correct orientation, just to make sure that they are where they got to be. Okay, there it goes. Didn't have her set in right. Okay. Feeler gauge out. Once again, very repetitive process. Start off with the 15. Yeah. So 15's good. 16. Yep. 17. Oh, yup. Dude, these things are already pre-clearance for NOS, baby. Get this thing running, we'll have to just spray her until rods are hanging out of the block. Yeah, very nice. 18 cleared, will 19 clear? Yes. Take it to 20. Is good. Go to 20. 20 is pretty good. In case if you don't know, I'm assuming you probably would. This is basically a feeler gauge. Each one of these little tabs are pretty much cut to a certain thousandths clearance. So if you open it up, well, it has thousandths and millimeter on it. So if you look at it, it'll tell you your size here. And basically the bottom one is millimeters, top one is thousandths. So basically just feeling it in. So if these are all supposed to be, you know, you want to have 14 to 15 thousandths clearance on the piston ring, you're looking at these and going, okay, this is my 15. So you pull the 15 out and stick it in between, you know, if my fingers were to ring gap, you want to stick it in that ring gap. And basically if you got that clearance, ready to rock. So where was I at here? Was I going for 20? Forget. See, scatterbrain, squirrel syndrome, whatever it's called. 20's good. How's 21? Okay, it's probably a 21 then. See if the 22 wants to slide in. 22 just slid in, so we'll call that 21 then. Fish this one out and get the oil rings in it. Like I said, these are just the ones that need to be, you know, I think it's something weird. I think it's like 15 to 40 thousandths or something like that. So as long as they're 15, we're letting it ride. I mean, they're probably significantly more than that. I wouldn't be surprised they're closer to like 20 or 25, but as long as they are correct, yes, very good. That one. I'll do this last one here. Yep. Where are we at? 14, 15. Oh yeah. Golden. So just want to lay these out. So that is the top one, but that is the top. That is the second one. So that one goes like that. More than halfway there. More than halfway there. Painter's tape ripped again. Driving me nuts. That was 2. So there's 2. Next set. That's the second one. That's the first one. Okay. No, I guess now that I'm thinking about it in my head, I kind of didn't explain the full importance of why you want to check your ring gaps before you just fire them on the piston and fire the piston in the hole. Basically, it's super important. I happen to have the piston here with the ring on it. You want to make sure that basically when the piston's in the cylinder that these rings, you know, there's enough gap of a clearance here. Because basically if these guys touch and they bend up, you know, you blow pistons apart. You know, figured most of you probably already knew that, but figure I'd throw that in there. We just want to make sure that they are they're ready to go, and you know, we spending how much money and time in the putting this thing together. It'd be a real shame to, you know, blow her apart. Although for what we're doing to the cylinder heads and the cam that's in it, there's a good chance it happens, but you know, because that's the thing that's changed too. So I think I made a post about it. This 305, we bought a third Oldsmobile G-body Cutlass, and this 305 was already pre-swapped into it. I was hoping it was going to be a quick and easy, you know, make it run, and no, that wasn't the case. This engine had issues. It ate a, you know, timing chain was not happy, and then once again for these GMs, it's just so annoying that they do it. But on the cam gear that goes on the, you know, on the cam side, they put this nylon coating around it. I think, do I have that still laying around here somewhere? Maybe I do. There's the timing chain. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure where I put the gear, but basically she came apart, so she was, you know, skipping time, and it did not want to run, so we pulled it out of the car, and no, we're basically just trying to identify what the issue was, and it was just supposed to be, you know, if the bottom end's good, slap a cam in it, call it a day. And then that turned into, well, it really needs main bearings. Well, it also needs rod bearings. Okay, so, all right, well, if the pistons are coming out, well, you might as well put piston rings in it, which, you know, this is where we're at now. And then the cam that I ended up picking out was just, I think, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was, it's a hydraulic flat tappet, 473 lift on a 128, 130. Yeah, what? 228, 230 or 232 duration at 50 on a 108 LSA. So little spunky for what would basically appear to be a stock 305. And then I was gonna go the cheap lazy route and basically just kind of lap the valves and stuff and just kind of throw it together with the press and studs and everything. And then earlier this week we was over at Barn Performance Machine talking to Joe about, you know, what we had going on, and you know, when I told him that we wanted to keep, you know, the press and studs and not do a valve job or anything and throw this much cam at it, I could tell he was wincing. You know, he was like, "Ooh, don't do that." And within talking to him, I ultimately realized, you know what, let's just we'll do the whole nine. So the heads are gonna get a valve job. They're gonna get screw-in studs, new valve seals. We're upgrading. I think it's a 150 exhaust valve with a 172 intake valve. Currently, we're gonna step up to a 184. I'm gonna do nothing crazy, but do a bowl blend job on it and that kind of stuff. And we're also gonna take, I think we're taking 40 thousandths off the heads, so that's gonna take this. Well, just a stock 305 would be probably roughly around 8.5 to 1 compression. This thing's gonna be like 9.5 to 1 now with the cam. And like I said, the more and more I thought about it, I didn't want to spend the money, but it's just one of those things where it's like, dude, it's if you're gonna throw this much cam into it and take the time to make the bottom end right, you might as well just make the head right too. So I'll be doing all that. So that definitely raised up the budget quite a bit. 21. There's that one. Get this one in here. Oh, hey. Need you to start in the bore for me, baby. There we go. Oh yeah. probably said it for the 100th time now, but like I said, it's tedious, but taking the time to do this now is basically going to ensure that, you know what, hey, this thing should be ready to go. So that one fit 15, you know, let's go through, you'll go for 18. Yep, 18's good. Go for 20. 20's good. $21. $22. Yep. And it's probably going to be 22 because that was snug. Well, we will go for 23. Yeah, we'll call that 22. I'll go write that down on my notebook just so I have notes for later. I like doing that way just so, you know, if Joe asks or whatever later on down the road for if we're putting stuff together or trying to figure some math out on something else that pops up, I already have everything somewhat organized and I know exactly what was what. So, okay. Then once again, we're on the oil ones now, so as long as they have 15, I'm okay. So there's 15. Yep. Beautiful. Again, yep. Okay. Good to go. That is the top one. This should be the second one then. Yep. This tape is driving me nuts. I like doing it with the tape though, because then I can label with the paint marker or Sharpie what is what. Because you could just wrap zip ties around it too, but then I really wouldn't have had a good way to label them. So, fold you over. The painter's tape ripped again. Stop doing that. I mean, what do you want for a cheap $2 roll of painter's tape? Although it was made in the USA. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. Well, the good news is none of the rings are missing by seeing how many we have left there, so. On the cylinder number 6 here, that's going to be the second one, so we'll do this one first, make sure we have it oriented on top. There you go, I'll actually pull up the live stream. No, that's weird, it doesn't pull up the, can't pull up the comment section. We'll have to learn as we go. Like I said, I think this is like my second or third time ever trying to do a live stream here, and it's just, you know, the phone camera set up on a tripod, so we haven't gotten fancy with her yet. But, you know, one of these days, I'll get around to, you know, getting the actual full-blown camera rig set up. We can actually do like an interactive live stream. That'd kind of be cool. Let's see, so 15 clears, 16 clears. I'm happy that so far that we haven't had a single issue, like even putting the crank in and making sure like our thrust was good and all of that stuff. Everything was extremely happy. So that's 20. Sure, it's going to be 20 or 21 once again. Get 21 out. Yeah, we'll call that one 20. Well, I guess that means I did a half decent job and I didn't mess up too terribly on the dingle ball hone, because they're all very consistent within a thousandth or two of each other. So, 'cause that was my first time ever really dingle ball honing anything either, so that was kind of fun. It's actually easier than you think it is. Just don't overthink it and just kind of, you know, get the method down right. Make sure that when you're making your passes, you're not going too slow but too fast, and then you're also, you know, when you're on entry, the dingle ball hone needs to be turning all the way in, and you know, you don't want to just ram it in there and then turn it. You want it turning as it goes in and then turning as it comes out. All that kind of little stuff. Okay, the 18 fit in, beautiful. Go right to 20 then. In. Nice. Let's see. If I'm not mistaken, too, if anyone was curious, these are the non-file rings, if I'm not mistaken, because well, obviously I ain't filing them, so. Okay, so that one's also 20. Oh, hey, don't run away. Be dropping brand new rings on the floor and breaking them. Be going over, JoJo, I need more. That one. 15,000. You think I'd just leave the 15 out instead of like closing it every time? Oh yeah. Good with that one. Check this one. Thought I almost wasn't gonna make sure it was square, didn't you? I know. I almost messed up there. Oh yeah, all day. Cool beans. So now we're just on to our last set. I'm gonna have to pull the well, I guess I can do that last, technically, yeah. So make sure that is the top one. Yep. Okay. Now we just got our last set. It makes you feel good when you go in for the last set and all the bags that, you know, they're the last ones in there. So you know that they counted them right, and or you didn't lose them when you opened the box. So cylinder number 8. I was aggressive there and went right for the 20. And she slid in. So 21. 21's good. It's probably gonna be 21. 22. Yeah, definitely 21. Okay. So, and I guess I'll bring you in, since this is our last set and I didn't get a chance to fully show you, I'll go ahead and do that here now for you. Basically, like I said, we just have the ring in. We use the piston with the ring, you know, in the second gap, and basically just press it in. That way it's even all the way around the bore. And then, once again, got your feeler gauge, and you want to put it in square. It's amazing how difficult it is to do things with two hands. But squaring like that, fits in good. There you go. So, yep, 21. So, like I said, I've been doing it on the notebook over here. I've been writing them all down on what they are. So, that one's 21. And then I got to pull that ring off, you know, set that one in, check that one, make sure that these, you know, the oil ones are at least 15, and we're good to go. So, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Thank you guys so much for joining me here in the shop with the live stream. Like I said, not something that we do all the time, but I figured, we'll try it. Why not? So if you guys did enjoy, if you could do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe, leave a like. I would appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time here on Bony Revivals. Catch you later. Take care.